Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, FAA A-10 pilots were careless and reckless in Charlotte flyover, AF graduate's first female enlisted pilot, and balloon fleet to document total eclipse. Hello, I'm Christopher C. Odom. It's August 9th, 2017, and this is Airborne Unlimited. The pilots of 4 A-10 Warthog aircraft acted in a manner that was careless and reckless when they made a low pass over Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina last August. That is the assessment of the FAA in a preliminary report obtained through a Freedom of Information Act request. The planes flew as low as 500 feet AGL, lower than the top of the nearby Duke Energy Center. Federal regulations require a waiver to fly lower than 1,000 feet above the highest obstacle within a horizontal radius of 2,000 feet of the aircraft. The flight of 4 originated at Moody Air Force Base in Valdosta. According to the FAA's pilot deviation report, the aircraft requested a flyover of the stadium at 500 feet AGL. While ATC approved the request, the pilots did not have the required waiver for low-level, high-speed flight over populated areas. The reports say that the pilots committed careless or reckless aircraft operation and unauthorized low-level flying. They also failed to abide by the requirement not to fly faster than 250 knots when flying under 10,000 ASL. The final report is under review. The pilots were grounded while the investigation is being conducted. The Air Force's first female enlisted pilot completed undergraduate remotely piloted aircraft training August 4th, 2017. Technical Sergeant Courtney is part of the Enlisted Pilot Initial Class. In its 70 years as separate military service, the Air Force has relied almost exclusively on commissioned officers to pilot its aircraft. In December 2015, the Air Force announced it would begin including enlisted airmen in its training to pilot RPAs. 12 were selected and incorporated in the training program beginning October 2016. The 558th FTRS is the sole source of undergraduate RPA training in the Air Force. It's great to fill that role as the first female, Courtney said. It's awesome and humbling, but our units don't care if you're male or female. They just want you to be a good pilot. Undergraduate remotely piloted aircraft training is 6 months for RPA pilots who sit in the left seat of an RPA control center during flight, and 6 weeks for their sensor operators who sit in the right seat and control cameras mounted on the RPA. This accomplishment expands Courtney's opportunities. I've been sitting in the right seat for a long time, so now I'm ready to sit in the left seat, Courtney said. After the break, balloons ready to monitor eclipse.
Progressive Aerodyne's Sea Ray Elite offers turbocharged Rotax power and Garmin G3X touch avionics. Incredibly well equipped, you can fly away in this best-in-category amphib for less than $160,000. Visit searay.com for more details.
The dream is real, a truly affordable personal jet aircraft. The Subsonics Personal Jet Kit is priced at only $42,000. Kit plus engine is still under $100K. Add instruments, upholstery, and paint and you're flying. It's time to put your money where your bucket list is. Learn more at sonicsaircraft.com.
Welcome back. If you have a story suggestion for Airborne Unlimited, Aero-TV, the new AMA drone report, our website, or podcast, just email to news-spy@aero-news.net. In partnership with NASA, 58 student teams across the country will launch nearly 100 high-altitude balloons to capture live footage of the eclipse. And with so many unmanned balloons floating toward near space on the same day, the ATO is taking steps to make sure the personnel at the relevant air traffic facilities know about it. Airspace Services Deputy Director Gary Norick emphasized that the project isn't considered high risk. Solar eclipses are rare in total solar eclipses. Rarer still, a total eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the Earth and the sun, casting a shadow on the Earth. Totality, the point at which the moon completely blocks the sun, is brief and appears along a narrow path. The path of this year's August 21st eclipse, the first of the digital age, will stretch across 12 states from Oregon to South Carolina, and the Eclipse Ballooning Project aims to make the most of it. Teams of high school and college students from 31 states are part of the project. Each balloon will carry 4 payloads, 2 cameras to transmit photos and high-definition video to a ground station, a satellite modem for tracking the balloon's location, and a select team payload for a science project. It's Thursday, which means that it's time for an Aero Community Update, highlighting news and information about the incredible people and organizations that populate the Airborne Partnership Initiative behind Airborne Unlimited. The staff of EAA and the Aero-News Network were pleased to release the latest in a series of novel Aero-TV airborne programs designed to draw the attention to the most innovative and aggressively oriented companies in the aviation universe, and most particularly those with real news to impart at AirVenture 2017. The roster is a veritable who's who of aviation innovators, over 30 in all, including AEA, Airbus, Redbird Flight Simulations, Sonics Aircraft, True Track Flight Systems, and many, many more. Programming options are viewable at web addresses that will take you to YouTube, Vimeo, and the Aero-News Network websites for webcast of the incomparable AirVenture Innovation Preview 2017. After these messages, AMA Foundation to host Jet Rally.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
The Bristol Light Sport aircraft is what you are looking for. The Bristol is wider than a Cirrus, faster than a Skyhawk, offers more storage than a Husky, and comes standard with Garmin avionics. So what are you waiting for? Visit Bristol.com to find out how you can get into a Bristol today.
With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing a few of those other great stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. The AMA Foundation, in conjunction with Fly Iowa 2017, will be hosting the AMA Foundation for the Future Jet Rally in Ottumwa, Iowa, from August 24th through 27th. The AMA Jet Rally will be held at the Ottumwa Regional Airport on a 100-foot by 3,500-foot runway, closed to full-scale aircraft for the weekend. The pilot registration fee for this event is $75. The Navy completed the debrief for the 100,000th sortie using the Tactical Combat Training System August 2nd at NAS Key West, marking the most sorties flown on naval ranges using the system. The sophisticated TCTS, in use for more than a decade, is a high-velocity learning tool managed by Naval Surface Warfare Center Corona for the Navy and Marine Corps. The 61st Fighter Squadron made history, graduating the first F-35A Lightning II initial qualification course August 5, 2017. After 8 months of tremendous teamwork from across the 56th Fighter Wing, Luke Air Force Base produced 6 F-35A fighter pilots ready for the Combat Air Force. Southwest Airlines has announced 2 leadership changes. John Zuzu has been promoted to Managing Director Corporate Facilities, which became effective August 1st. Additionally, Thomas Merritt is joining Southwest Airlines as Vice President of Technology, IT, and Infrastructure Services. Effective August 7th, Merritt joined Southwest with over 30 years of technical and leadership experience. The State Department has made a determination approving a possible foreign military sale to the government of Nigeria of 12 A-29 Super Tucano aircraft and weapons, including all associated training, spare parts, aviation, and ground support equipment, and hangar facilities and infrastructure required to support the program. The estimated total case value is $593 million. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Now, let's get back to the rest of the news. The FAA is proposing to change the RVSM authorization process by eliminating the need for U.S. registered operators to apply for the RVSM authorization when their aircraft meet altitude keeping requirements and are equipped with a qualified ADS-B out system. RVSM reduced the vertical separation between aircraft above 29,000 feet from a minimum of 2,000 feet to 1,000 feet. This saves fuel and increases airspace capacity. Currently, operators must prove their aircraft design satisfies RVSM performance requirements and that they have policies and procedures for the safe conduct of RVSM operations before the FAA approves their RVSM authorization. Until recently, they also had to have a separate program to maintain RVSM systems and equipment. The proposed changes for RVSM authorizations would allow for the FAA to leverage the technology and ADS-B out systems to monitor altitude-keeping performance on RVSM-capable aircraft. ADS-B becomes mandatory for aircraft operating in most U.S. airspace on January 1, 2020. The current RVSM approval process would still be available for operators whose airplanes do not routinely operate in airspace where the FAA has sufficient ADS-B data to determine RVSM performance. Well, that's our program for today. Remember that Airborne Unlimited stream daily, Monday through Friday, with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and do check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Keep flying. We'll see you tomorrow.